Hello, gorgeous. Okay, so I am doing this video to answer Uma's question. So, hi, Uma. Thank you so much for your question in this group. So, your question was, how is your relationship with men and sex in correlation with your relationship with money? And I love this question. This is like my favorite thing to speak about. So, so yeah, I've written some notes. So I'm going to be kind of looking at my notes as well because I want to make sure that I answer you fully. So, okay, let me begin by sharing about the energetics because that's really where this will all start to make sense and click for you. So, masculine energy is that forward moving, single focused, goal orientated energy. It's the go getting, it's the making it happen, it's the thinking space, and it's active and dynamic. So it's like taking the action. And the masculine energy needs space. The masculine energy needs space. So feminine energy is very different. It's basically the opposite. So it's fluid, it has diffuse awareness, so it's not single focused, it's aware of the surroundings. It's cyclical, it's journey orientated, it's receptive, it's responsive, and it's experiencing. And so the feminine is the feeling space, and the feminine needs time. So the masculine needs space, and the feminine needs time. So everything has masculine and feminine energy within it, as we know. But what we want to do is learn how to inspire the empowered masculine energy within your man, within clients, within money, within the universe to come to you. So this is really what being in your empowered feminine energy is all about. It's about inspiring the masculine energy within others to come to you. Because the masculine energy, the divine masculine, really wants nothing more than to please you. That's like its sole mission, its sole purpose is really to please, provide for, deliver to the feminine. That is honestly what its purpose is. And our purpose is to receive. And so the problem is that a lot of the time, women will be in their masculine energy space within their business and within their relationship and within their sex lives. They will be taking up space in the masculine energy space. So when this happens, it prevents the masculine from doing what it does best, pleasing you. It prevents the masculine from even being able to come to you. And it prevents you from then experiencing the bliss that's really available to you in your life. Because you're taking up space in that masculine energy space, you're closing the gap the whole time and you're not leaving the space that the masculine energy needs to come to you. Let me just check my notes. Yeah, so if you're, let me just have a look what I've put here. Yeah, so you can go into your wounded masculine because when you're in that space, you can kind of there's like a sense of urgency. You're focused on the goal. You're, focusing on the numbers, the quantity, and you can go into the space of pushing, forcing, dictating, controlling, and even in the space of convincing, justifying, explaining. That's all masculine energy and wounded masculine energy. And when you're in that space with your man, then he can't hear you, first of all. He doesn't know that he can please you because you're taking up space in the masculine energy space and you're actually pushing him away. So you are closing the gap and you're pushing him out. You're pushing him away, so he can't close the gap. And it's the same in your business. If you're in that space of doing, and you're not coming from the space of, I forgot to mention the feminine is also self-expression. So if you're not coming from the space of self-expression and you're in this trying to go-getting, making it happen kind of energy, you're in that pushing, forcing, forward-moving space. And sometimes if you're having discovery sessions with clients or whatever, you can sometimes go into that convincing, leading them to a yes, justifying, explaining space. That's you taking up the masculine energy, and it prevents them, it stops you inspiring the masculine energy within them to be able to come to you. And that's what you want. You don't want to be doing it for them. It's not your job. You want them to authentically, in an empowered way, come to you. And so it's your job to stay in your empowered feminine space. And that includes having your inner empowered masculine. And your inner empowered masculine is your self-validation, your conviction, it's your confidence. It's that space within you that's like, you got this, you can do this. That inner masculine, that standing firm, that unwavering space within you, that along with you being in your empowered feminine, shining your light, your self-expression, your pleasure, all like your trust, all of that is what will spark and inspire the empowered masculine within your man, within money, within clients, within the universe, to bring your desires to you and please you, to come and please you. That's what happens. I'm going to read my notes again. The key is that the masculine energy, and your man, need to know, they need to feel like they can please you. It's the same with the universe. It needs to feel like it can please you. It can't do that when you are closing the gap all the time. And so it won't be able to bring to you in that way. And so, okay, let me move into sexually, because this also applies. Sexually, women are often functioning in the masculine energy. They're in that goal-orientated, performance, kind of driven, goal-orientated, agenda-focused, performance-driven, forward-moving energy sexually, like moving towards the end goal, right? And because we've only been taught this kind of sex, this is the only type of sex we've really been taught through pornography, through the movies. This is what we see all the time. We see the kind of wham bam, thank you ma'am type of expression. And that is Shiva. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. It can be really amazing, really pleasurable. Like, it can be fiery and hot and exciting, and you reach those peak orgasms, and that's amazing. But without the balance, or the union of the feminine energy, it's unsustainable long term. And as a woman, our yonis can constrict and harden and shut down and turn off. We can turn off sexually, especially to our man if we're in a long-term relationship, because it can be too much friction and too much masculine energy for the way that our bodies work as women. And so when you're in that space, you limit your self-expression, you limit your pleasure potential, and you limit your experience of your orgasm and your bliss, or your orgasmic energy. It becomes limited, and when that's the only expression of sex, when it's masculine. And so it's the same. Without honoring the feminine energy in our business, in our relationship, in our sex life, it is not sustainable long term. It's not fully enjoyable long term, and it's not authentic long term. It becomes inauthentic, and you're not able to experience the kind of liberation and freedom that it is you're longing for, that you're yearning for. You're yearning for that freedom, but you want that in a safe, stable, secure space. So this brings me on to the next part of the sexual piece, is the energetics of this, because your sexual self, your yoni is your root chakra. Your root chakra is very much linked to security, stability. It's linked to family, your roots, right? So this is your early belief systems, your early programming that shapes who you are today. And so when you're working on this level, on a physical level, you're not just working on the physical level, you're working on an energetic level, you're working on an emotional level, because your yoni is very much linked to your emotions, and there's that psychosexual emotional link, which I speak about in my courses and programs. And we function holistically. So when you are working on yourself sexually, sexually healing or expanding your pleasure and your orgasmic potential, you're not only doing that, it's actually impacting your lineage, it's impacting your root, right? And it links to money as well, because stability, security, this 3D realm, your earthly experience, this is very much linked with your relationship with money and your receptivity and your capacity to receive money as well. And so your wealth consciousness is deeply linked to your sexual consciousness, and this has been my experience time and time again. When things are coming up around my money, there's things coming up around my sexual self. When there's things coming up around my sexual self, there's things that are shifting within my wealth consciousness. It's very, very deeply interconnected. It's not separate. And so your sacral chakra is also part of your yoni. In my opinion, it's not just your root, it's your sacral chakra too, which is your womb space. This is linked to your creativity, to your passions, like your business, right? And your relationship as well. And so when you're tuning into that space, and when you're gifting yourself time to be present with yourself and explore your sensual self, your sexual self, you're activating those parts of you that are usually abandoned and are usually trivialized or avoided even. You're activating these parts of you, and these parts of you are very much linked to your expression, to your business, to your money, to your relationship with your man. It's linked to all of it. Your sexual energy is life force energy. It's what we're made of. It's how we have been created. To me, it is the energy of the universe. It is sexual in nature. It's not the kind of like sexual in the sense of having sex and having to do something. It's innately sexual energy. We are innately sexual beings, and it is our core essence. It is where we are so closely connected with the divine, because it's all the same energy. And when you're in the orgasmic space, when you are in the space of orgasm or pleasure, sexual pleasure, sensual pleasure, orgasmic energy, you are tapping into your most authentic expression. You are so vulnerable. Like, imagine when you're in orgasm, you're in a state of like pure receptivity, pure experience, pure expression. This is your most feminine space. And okay, so the other aspect of this is that we're energetic beings, as I've said, which means we're magnetic. We have electromagnetic fields, and we have positive and negative energy poles. And in Tantra, this relates to your chakra system again. And so as a woman, your positive poles are your womb space, your sacral chakra, your heart space. Both those are connected with your emotions, and your third eye. Your intuition, this is your heart space, is your breast, which is where you're penetrating the world. Like a man's lingam, our breasts are outwards, they're penetrating. So the positive poles are very much kind of outwards energy. And then we have the negative poles, and our most negative pole is our root, is our vagina. And within that space, it's the deeper vaginal erogenous zones and the cervix where we are most negatively charged, which means that's our most receptive space, is where we're most magnetic, where we draw things in, where we receive things. That's our cervix. And so when you are activating those parts of your body on a physical level, you're tuning into and tapping into your most receptive space, your most receptive energy. And this very much links with your receptivity capacity on all levels, not just about sexual pleasure. This is about you know, healing your blocks to bliss. So I hope this is all making sense and you're following me. So yeah, like, so as a woman, we have the diffuse awareness, we're multitasking and we function holistically. And so often in business, we're told to just pick a niche and focus on one thing. But in my experience, it never actually really works like that. Even if you are doing that in your marketing, that's not ever how you're really working, is it? You're working on all the levels, all the layers, all the things. And it's this, and so this is why I work with the masculine and feminine energy on all three areas, because they're so divinely interlinked and they're so complementary and they're so interwoven and connected and work and function holistically. And these are the three areas in a woman's life where I really feel like when you are nourishing them, a woman can come into a space of true thriving. And that's really what we want. And when we're thriving, you know, our cells on a cellular level, we're expanding in pleasure. And this to me is like the purpose of our existence. And like on a biological, even atomic level, we are expanding, either expanding in pleasure or contracting in pain. And, you know, it isn't just some frivolous hedonistic thing. This is about your well-being. This is about, you know, your experience and enjoyment of life, your business, your relationship, yourself, your body, your spirit, your spirituality. It's all interlinked. And that's why I love to work on these levels with women. And I hope this makes sense of how they're correlated and connected, and how like how working on all three of these levels can be truly transformative for you. Okay, I'm going to end this video there because it's really long. Oh, it's like 17 minutes. Rambled on, haven't I? Yeah, if anyone else has any questions and or if anything's come up for you around this, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know. Tag me in your question as well, so I know that you've asked me a question, because sometimes things don't always show up for me unless you tag me. So yeah, if you've got any questions or anything at all, let me know, and I will be doing more videos like this if I receive more questions. Okay, love you lots. Bye.